Ooh, this guy is studying for the CELPIP exam, and he's studying for writing task 1, which is writing an email. And he's using my book to study. Hey, I wrote a book called CELPIP Writing Practice. I'm so excited for everyone who's using my books to help them study. Hey, you can get my books, my speaking book and my writing book at my website, metv.cool. You can download a PDF copy of my book right from there. Okay, so let's take a look at task 1. This is one of the examples from my book. Okay, your sister has been in the hospital for a week. During this time, you have noticed the meals they are providing for her are very poor quality. Write an email to the hospital manager and include the following things. Tell him or her what you have seen in the past week. Complain about the food quality. Offer a suggestion on how things could improve. Okay, so there is our task. Now, how should you start this? Well, I would just start by saying, Dear hospital manager. Okay? Now, what should come next? Well, in my book, I teach you something I made up for the CELPIP tasks, and that is my 12-sentence model. Okay? My model has 12 sentences and 4 paragraphs. Now, you don't need to follow this exactly. You could have 10 sentences or 14 sentences. I would say don't have less than 10 sentences, or don't have fewer than 10 sentences. Don't have more than like 14 sentences, because that would mean your sentences are very short. It's good to have some variety. Short sentences, some medium, some long sentences, okay? 4 paragraphs, I think, is a great number of paragraphs for this. Okay, so what should you have in your first paragraph? Well, your first paragraph is just writing like the purpose of the email. Okay, so you want to state the purpose of your email right away. Why are you writing? Okay, then you want to introduce the situation. Okay, so I would just say do those 2 things in your first paragraph. That's your introduction paragraph. Okay, then the second paragraph is going to have your first point. Then you're going to give an example of something, and then you're just going to say something else. Okay, so each of these is only 1 sentence. Okay, you could add another sentence. You could have like 4 sentences or 5 sentences, but you want to save some room for the next paragraph, right? And if we only have 12 sentences, in the first paragraph we had maybe 2 or 3 sentences. Then in the second paragraph, like 3, then we want to like save some space. We don't want to go over the word limit, right? You can go over a little bit. If you have like 205 words, 210 words, that's totally okay. I don't think they will take any marks away. But if you start going over like 210, 215, 220, that's pushing it a little bit. Okay? So this would be the second paragraph. That would be the first point. And then in the third paragraph, that's where I would put the second point. Then again, example and more thoughts. Okay? And then the fourth paragraph is just going to be your conclusion. Now, in my book, I sort of gave you some different examples of what a conclusion should be like. Now, when you get to the conclusion, you need to see how many words you already have. Now, if you already have about 170 words at this point, you might just want to have 1 or 2 sentences in the conclusion. But if you only have like 140 words or 150 words at this point, then you should have a little bit longer conclusion. Have at least 3 sentences, I would say, in the conclusion. Okay, and then after that, then you're just going to do your closing. You could have a closing sentence. Okay, you'll see in a lot of examples in my book, I use closing sentences. Then you want to sign off by saying sincerely or regards, Mark. Okay? Then, now I want to ask you, do you think making an outline is a good idea for the writing tasks? Do you think it's a good idea? Well, I think it is. I think it's good to make a sort of a short outline. It doesn't have to be anything big. In my book, I just give you some simple outlines, show you how to make some very simple outlines. It's nothing hard. Okay, but in this question for task 1, it actually gives you 3 points to talk about. So I would just sort of use this as my outline. Okay, now remember there are 4 paragraphs in my model. Okay, so how are we going to put this into 4 paragraphs? Well, the first paragraph is going to be our introduction paragraph. Okay, then I would put in the second paragraph, I would put, what you've seen in the past week and complain about the food quality. I would put both those things in the second paragraph. And then in the third paragraph, I would offer a suggestion on how things could improve. And the fourth paragraph will be the conclusion. Okay, so that's how I would do it. Okay, so let's take a look at my answer for this question. Dear hospital manager, I am writing you to express a concern I have about the food quality at your hospital. My sister has been in the hospital for a week, and the meals the nurses are feeding her are very unhealthy. Okay, so that's the first paragraph. Then, second paragraph. So far, the meals have mainly consisted of carbs and sugar. This has had a negative effect on my sister's health. For lunch today, they gave her mashed potatoes and strawberry jello. I'm concerned about this because there's almost no nutritional value in these foods. How are the patients supposed to get better when they are not being given a healthy diet? Okay, so I'm following my 12-step or my 12-sentence model pretty closely in this example. Okay, then I say, I would like to suggest a change in the meal plans. Okay, so this is my third paragraph, right? I would like to suggest a change in the meal plans. Perhaps the patients could be given fish or chicken for supper every day in order to get some protein. For lunches, they could be given a healthy salad along with a dairy product such as yogurt or cheese. I believe a balanced diet like this would help the patients improve much faster. Okay, then let's see what the conclusion is. Okay, you'll notice now I don't actually have a huge conclusion. I just have one sentence for the conclusion. Okay, let's take a look at this again. So this is our first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph. Now at this point, I was already getting a little bit long. So now you have to make a decision. Are you going to write a whole paragraph or are you just going to write like one sentence? Well, it's up to you. Like I said, look at your word limit and make a decision, okay? So I just say this. I hope you accept my advice for the sake of all the patients' health. Regards, Peter. Okay? I think that would be a great answer. Now, I should have put the number of words here. I can't remember the exact number of words in this answer. It's in my book, so you'll see it there. But anyway, I think this would be a really great answer. Now, look, you're writing tasks. They don't need to be very long, so don't be intimidated by them. It's just 12 sentences, okay? If you go through my book and you look at the examples, they're fairly simple. Okay, I teach you some grammar. As long as you're using, right vocabulary and not making too many grammar mistakes, and you have a nice structure like this, I think you're going to get a great score. I don't know why you wouldn't get a good score. I think you get at least, a lot of times people write me and they say, Mark, I want to get a 9 or I want to get a 10. I think getting a mark like 9 or 10 is very easy if you follow the tips I give in my book. Okay, but hey, I want to know, what is your typing speed? That might be a problem for some people. I know a lot of people who type like this with 2 fingers. Click, 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 click. That's fine. You could do this. I think you only need to type like 5 words a minute for you to finish this task. They give you 27 minutes for task 1. That's a long time. That's more than enough time to think and to type your answer. But I think it would still be good to learn how to type. So if you don't know how to type, I'll post a link down there to test your typing speed. I want you to take that. It's just a very short test, okay? And I want you to tell me how your typing speed is. What is it? How many words per minute can you type? Okay, let me know down there in the comments, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.